Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and today I'm going to be doing the Reader Problems book tag. I was tagged by Lori and Thomas and I will leave their video down in the description below, and I will also leave the original creators video in the description. For some reason I'm like really cold right now, so I have my mug of tea because I need it to keep me warm. There are 11 questions to this tag, and I've kind of looked at the questions before filming this, but I haven't looked through all of them, so there's no telling how this video is going to go. Also, before I get started, I kind of want to do just like a self-plug. If you have ever seen me wearing bracelets, these are Pura Vida bracelets, and I am a Pura Vida rep. I will leave my code in the description below if you want to purchase anything from Pura Vida. This is a jewelry and accessory company that gives jobs to people all around the world who really need it. And then they also give to a lot of different charities as well. And then I also usually wear rings as well. So if you've seen some of those and you might want them, you can go check them out at Pura Vida. I am also a Happy Earth apparel ambassador. This company donates half of their proceeds to earth cleanup, like trash pickup, ocean cleanup, those kind of things. And their mission is really important to me. And if you use my code in the description, you can get 15% off your purchase. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the questions. You have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world did you decide what to read next? I am definitely a mood reader. So I start out by asking myself, what genre am I in the mood to read? Then I ask myself, do I want to read a book that's really popular or one that's lesser known? One that's higher on my TBR or lower on my TBR. I usually narrow that down to 2 books, and then I ask my best friend Christina which one I should read, and usually I don't go with what she tells me because this is basically my process to decide which book I actually really want to read, because there's usually one that I want to read more than the other, I just don't want to admit it. So asking her to decide for me usually helps with that, because if she picks the one that I don't actually want to read, it becomes very clear to me which book I actually want to read. Wow, that was a lot. Sorry. Question 2. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? It depends. I don't think I've ever DNF'd a book with no intention of ever finishing it. I'll put down a book because I'll get out of the mood for reading it or things like that, and then I have the intention of picking it up at a later date. I've never really had a book that I just absolutely could not stand and could not finish. But if that ever did happen, I would be fine with DNFing it. Question 3. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? I don't really care about my Goodreads challenge. If I read that many books, great. If I don't, that's fine. I don't pressure myself to read a certain amount. I just want to read as many books as I possibly can. Sometimes life happens. You have responsibilities. You can't read as much. I also have been diagnosed with depression, so depending on my mental state, I may not be able to read. Although, praise God, I have been well since September. Question 4. The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? Now, the size of books or paper and hardback usually don't bother me, but if they change the covers mid-series, that really bothers me. Unless it's just absolutely horrible. I don't understand why publishing companies change the book covers mid-series. I understand revamping the covers once the series is completed because you can get more money because collectors will buy both sets or however many different cover sets there are. But changing midway just angers me to no end. I don't understand why they do that. Question 5. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Now, I've never really just hated a book, but if I don't like a book, I guess I'll just bond with whoever else has the same opinions as me. One person I think would be great to bond with over a book that we didn't like would be Hannah from Snow White Reader. She brings all the tea, all the salt, and she is not afraid to step on people's toes if she doesn't like a particular book. I think it would be great to hate a book with her. Question 6. You're reading a book and you are about to start crying in public. How do you deal? Well, I don't read in public. I don't go into public places to have an opportunity to read. And although I'll cry in movies, I'm not a book crier. I think I've maybe shed 1 or 2 tears on less than a handful of books in my lifetime. I can be really deeply emotionally affected, but for some reason I just don't actually cry. Question 7. A sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration? I don't really forget what happens in books. Like, it could be years and I'll still remember the major events in the story. I will forget, like, details and stuff, but as soon as I read the sequel and those details are mentioned, I easily remember what happened, so I don't really have that issue. Question 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? I'll let my mom borrow a book because she knows how important they are to me, and if she messes them up, she'll feel horrible about it, so she takes really good care of my books if she borrows them. Although now that I've gotten her to become a reader, she just listens to audiobooks all the time. So she's only borrowed maybe 5 books from me before. Never messed them up, and I think if she did mess them up, she would just buy me a new copy. Apart from her, I have let a few of my friends borrow books, but again, they know how important they are to me. They know if they mess up the book for any reason in any kind of way, they're gonna have to replace it for me. But I wouldn't just hand out a book to someone if I didn't trust them. If people do ever ask me to borrow a book and I don't trust them with it, I'll just tell them that I don't like letting people borrow them. It's not that hard to be polite, y'all. Like, I don't understand why this is a big deal. If you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, it's easy to be polite about it and let them down easy. Question 9. Reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? Well, really the only thing you can do is just wait it out. But personally, if I'm in a reading slump, it means that I'm in a TV watching mood instead of a reading mood. So I just watch TV until I get tired of it. And I'm definitely like a hardcore binger. I can watch a full TV series with multiple seasons in like 3 days or less. Question 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? I don't really get excited over new releases unless it's by an author that I love, or unless it's like super hyped up and everyone's already read it, and then I'll probably buy it. But I don't just buy newly released books without knowing most people's opinions on it. Now, if it's a sequel to a series that I love, or if it's by an author that I love, I'll buy it, and most of the time I pre-order those books. And finally, question 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Again, this just depends on my mood. I'm a big mood reader. Even if I'm super excited about a book, I buy it immediately, and I'm not in the mood for it, I won't read it until I'm in the mood for it. I have quite a few books that were on my most anticipated releases of 2018 that I still haven't read. It completely depends on my mood and if I'm in a reading slump or not. Alright, those are all the questions for this tag. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish content by me. I will leave the people I tag down in the description below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!